I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Vanguard development team has been not doing their job a lot lately, because as much as many of the boss upgrade that we have seen so far does do some additional stuff or do something that improve the playstyle of the deck, all of them just doesn't feel as exciting as it used to be. And the same feeling continuing with the 3 new dress up of DCLBTO2, which is Senna, Feren, Fennel, and Shamount. The additional thing that they give to each of these decks are good, but it doesn't make you wow at the support, you know. And the same can be said with Charmout, but out of the 3, I do feel the additional thing that they give to her is the best out of them. Why exactly is that? That is exactly what I'm gonna be talking about today. And I think we have to start off talking about what Charmout, or to some people, Leviathan, actually is all about. This deck playstyle revolves around stacking your Vanguard power, very similar to mechanic like Success or original Dimension Police. And once you reach certain power level, some of the Leviathan Vanguard skill unlock. This is where Shamount use that high power that this unit has. As long as this unit attack without boost, she can essentially clone her power onto any 3 of Leviathan Vanguard that is grade 2 or less that are in different names. And if Shamount happen to have at least 33k power or higher, and your opponent is grade 3 or greater, you can Soul Blast 2 and enable 1 Vanguard in your center back column to actually attack from back row and perform the drive check. And she herself technically have kind of like a Pale Moon playstyle where you can superior call a lot of Leviathan card out from Soul instantly, and you have cards like Halmir to just put everything back into Soul. Her playstyle at a glance is good, literally played like Dimension Police, and considering the arsenals that Lyrical has in general, you can reach quite a ridiculously high power with Shamount and clap your opponent with pretty much all attacks that are hitting as hard as your Vanguard. And that additional drive that comes from your back row is really useful, especially if that back row is your grade 2 right line, which enable you to keep a little bit of counter charge and a soul charge, which is something the deck do needs. But why is it that the deck with such a very powerful gimmick is not topping, especially back when it just released? Well, it kind of boils down to 2 particular issues. The first one is that you are putting a lot of effort to actually get all of the skill of Charmout unlocked. Yes, there is things that can kind of shortcut the skill a little bit with things like Rusius and Persona Right, allowing you to pretty much just get all the power up very quickly. But here's the thing, if you do not find those 2 cards, which kind of equate to 7 cards in the deck, you are gonna need quite a lot of cards in your hand to reach 33k. Don't believe me? Count up it this way. Shamount skill plus 5k, and at the time of recording, there is no other unit that give you 10k onto the Vanguard like Rusius. So that means that you need 3 other cards in your hand that has ability to plus your Vanguard additional 5k. This not only compromises Charmout defenses, but it also makes it that if you cannot finish your opponent within the turn you decided to commit, you are pretty much screwed. And we haven't even considered how much control is there in the meta right now, which kind of affects certain resources in the deck in some way, making it even harder for the deck to reach that power state to begin with. Though, fortunately enough, this issue is mostly mitigated with the release of LDC BTO2, as we have Cadeau Amour Charmout. I think that's the way that you pronounce it.
Cadeau Amour.
This unit has 2 skills where act on Vanguard once per turn, you can counter blast 1 choose total of number of grade 2 or less cards with Leviathan and their name from your soul, or drop that is less than or equal to your opponent Vanguard grades, call them to Vanguard Circle, and this unit get 5k until end of turn. And then auto Vanguard Circle, when this unit attack while not boosted, choose 3 of your grade 2 or less Vanguard with Leviathan in their different cards names and increase or decrease their power to match this unit power until end of turn. If this unit's power is 33k or greater and your opponent Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, so blast 2 until end of that turn, the back row center column Vanguard chosen by this ability can attack from back row and perform drive checks. And if you Persona roll this turn, you may discard 1 card to get additional drive. This feels so much better compared to the other dress up, as it does fix an issue that the deck do have in some way. For one, her superior core ability now no longer target just soul but also drop stone, allowing you to essentially pay soul blast a little bit more often and actually make use of some of the powerful toolbox cards that Charmout received that require soul blast, namely that girl from DCLBTO1, which help you to superior call 1 card from soul as well. So in a way, it helped to fix that issue that I mentioned earlier of needing a high commitment to actually reach 33k. And that second skill, as much as it remained pretty much more or less the same, it helps you to get additional drive, making this deck a full drive drive, which does mean a lot in terms of pressure wise, as that means that now you have one additional chance to actually get additional critical, provided you personalize that is. And unlike Fennel, where you can actually run full 4 copies of Dress Up Fennel in your deck, Shamount I feel is one of those cards where you can actually run in the right deck purely because of the fact that calling from drop is that crucial. At least that's how I'm seeing it. But if you chose to still running the original Shamount in the right deck, it is perfectly normal, as the consistency of getting that additional 5k to Vanguard gets even more consistent when you consider the brand new triple support for this deck, Lob Hop Lob Hard Rock Clock. This unit has 2 skills where while in soul and when your unit is placed on Vanguard Circle from soul by ability of your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with the VSO in its card name, if you do not have a Vanguard with the same card as this card, you may counterblast one, call this card to Vanguard Circle, and one of your Vanguard gets additional 5k. And then at the end of the battle, this unit was boosted by the VSO, Energy Blast 3, and put this unit into soul to draw a card. So yes, we essentially get a unit that will always remove itself from the field at the end of the turn, give you additional draw, and most importantly, synergize with the Vanguard in the sense that comboing with Shamount Superior Core skill, you essentially now guaranteed a 10k boost to Shamount, which means that you only need another 10k or a personal right to essentially to unlock the full skill. A very important card, though the fact that it kind of clash with the same grade 2 I mentioned earlier is bugging me a little bit, but let's be real, Winter Life Shake It exists, that is not a big issue. Considering the deck defense also get a little bit better with the last card I'm gonna be talking about today, Holy Ornament Vorbearer. This unit has 2 skills where if your Vanguard is Luviasur, this unit gets 5k shield, but if your Vanguard is grade 2 or greater, it also gets additional 5k. This is just 2 itself, and then add in drop, bind 2 cards with the same kind of this card from drop, choose one of your Vanguard with Luviasur that is grade 2 or greater, it gets 5k until end of turn. Counterblast plus 5k is nothing new in the deck, but the fact that you do not have to waste any card in your hand to get that additional 5k is still a nice to have for the deck in general. But is the deck improved a lot? Well, yes and no. Yes, in a sense that like the deck now have more ways to get additional 5k without wasting way too much resources, but the deck still have 2 glaring issues right now. For one, the deck still use a lot of resource regardless to reach that power point. I mean, counterblast is needed every single turn, and you still need to commit your resource to get Charmout power high enough to go into the Q turn mode. But if you cannot close the game by that Q turn, you're kind of fucked, like straight up. And that's Shamount, at least her new form. I would say out of the 3 forms, I do like Shamount the most purely because it has the most improvement in my opinion, but that also because of the fact that the deck is quite far behind compared to the other 2, which is kind of crazy thinking about how Sienna is a lot more playable than Shamount pre-DCL-BTO2. But what do you guys think? Do leave down in the comments below. And yeah, that's all I have for today. Take care of yourself, don't forget to clap that sub and become a member for some cool perks. This is Mac Mechanic signing out.